of the new year. On national news, the whole world celebrate the transitions to 2020. On continental news, the whole world celebrated the new world and the attack of Greek oil in Cameroon. Welcome if you join us on the occasions of the celebration of the New Year 2020. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, expressed the wishes for the nations for the New Year. He reiterated to all the nationals present on also a good and happy New Year.
الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Mes chers compatriotes, nous voici au seuil d'une nouvelle année, l'occasion pour moi de vous souhaiter à tous et à toutes mes meilleurs vœux de santé, de bonheur et de prospérité.
My fellow countrymen, here we are on the verge of a new year. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you all the very best of health, happiness, and well-being. At a time when many of us will be celebrating the entry into the new year with joy and excitement, I want us to think, first of all, very sincerely and very emotionally of our fellow countrymen who are diminished by the trials of life. We pray to the Almighty for their speedy recovery. I also want us, on the eve of this new year, to think strongly of our defense and security forces which are invested body and soul in the protection of ourselves and our nation. My fellow countrymen, the past year has been rich in events that have allowed our country to continue on the path of economic development. But sadly, this year has also been marked by unprecedented floods that have affected many of our fellow citizens. I would like to commend the spirit of solidarity and mutual assistance of Djiboutians that enabled us to overcome this ordeal. I would also like to commend the commitment of friendly countries that have been shown to us in these painful circumstances. My fellow countrymen, year after year, our country continues its transformation. We can look back with pride and celebrate the progress we have made and plead for our socio-economic and political gains. But this and other achievements must, on the contrary, allow us to project ourselves into the future. These achievements should fill us with hope and optimism and convince us that our future depends entirely on us, on our capacity, on our mobilization, and our commitment. My dear citizens, our ambition for our nation is intact, for this ambition is supported, nurtured, and maintained by the will of us all, and this ambition is already becoming a reality before our eyes, step by step, thanks to our vision, our strategy, and our major projects. This new year, 2020, will therefore find us again on the path of our ambition and in the continuity of our policies and commitments. Once again, this year, the government will continue on the path of reforms aimed at making our public service more efficient and effective, but also reforms aimed at making our private sector more dynamic and more attractive. The government will again this year ensure that our growth is more inclusive, both economically and socially. And once again, this year, the government will listen to your concerns and aspirations, for it is, above all, your ideas, proposals that serve as the guiding thread for the government's policy. My fellow countrymen, if our country counts in this region, it is not just because of its strategic position. It is also about who we are as a country, our values, and our principles. That is why we are proud of what we are, a nation at peace, a nation that promotes tolerance and brotherhood. It is also this message of peace, tolerance, and fraternity that we want to share with the international community in the new year. My dear citizens, I renew to you once again my best wishes for health and prosperity in the new year. Long live the Republic of Djibouti.
Mes chers compatriotes, je vous renouvelle encore mes meilleurs vœux de santé et de prospérité pour la nouvelle année. Vive la République de Djibouti. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
On the occasions of the New Year, the Djibouti broadcast in collaboration with the Town Hall and the People's Palace organized a culture and musical evening on the esplanade of the People's Palace. This annual event was attended in particular by the mayor of the city of Djibouti, Mrs. Fatuma Awali Osman, as well as local elected officials and young people from different parts of the city of Djibouti, animated by all the artistic groups of the national music scene of folk songs and dances. This musical evening was a great success and delighted the hearts of young Djiboutian people.
adoon isku kaymo korin tii arraweelayo asawaha uma gelin adoon isku kaymo korin tii arraweelayo asawaha uma gelin
biyihiisi roobku kuma oon bixiyaane ogaa shan naftayda dhibiyo baylah u diidda kabaxmaanka bislaaday eed bukaanka ku reebtay kabaxmaanka
At the 2020, the new decades and everywhere fairy tale shows and the stroke of midnight celebrated from the Hindenburg to Athens, Moscow, and Berlin. In Paris, the Arc of Triomphe was illuminated with a thousands light in front of tens of thousands of spectators gathered on the Champs-Élysées. In Berlin, all eyes were on the sky in the cathedral-like silence. In Moscow, on the Red Square, grandiose fireworks are also the rigors. This is a very special year for the Russians, which also marks the 20th anniversary of Vladimir Putin's accessions when he acceded Boris Yeltsin in London and many others events for the British. This should be the last New Year's Eve as member of the European Union before the Brexit schedule for January 31st. The Jura team won the Carto Maltese Cup against Obach in the second minute. Shibak opened the score, but his ball went wide of the goal in the 17th minute with a free kick. Well shoot and badly rebounded by the Raspier. Tajurius team opened the scoring and controlled the game. The Tajurians stalled the opponent's box and put on the string the fine performance, but without feeding a way through. The Secretary of State for Youth and Sports say he was impressed with the level of regional football and wishes to thank all the organizers, in this case the manager of the Corto Maltese Hotel, Mr. Mousse Awili, and the regional league of soccer. He hoped that the other region of the country would take inspirations from this event to organize a South Cup of Home with the aim of promoting regional sports. As part of the school outing with the students, the management of the School of Excellence organized yesterday morning a field trip for students of his school for a field trip of discovery and observations of the landscape of the region of Ali Sabih, accompanied by their teacher and their principals in Ali Sabih, where they were warmly welcomed by the prefect of the region, Mr. Musa Aden Migane, where they sang of the national anthem in the front of the esplanade of the prefecture of the region. The students of the school, accompanied by their principal and teacher, went to the cement factory for the region, the new railway stations, and the town of Assamo. On continental news, attack on a Greek oil tanker in Cameroon, where 8 soldiers kidnapped in Cameroon armed individuals stormed a Greek oil tanker, and one of the crew members was wounded in the ankle by the reshot of a bullet. The attack occurred while the tanker was anchored in the port of Limbe. This is one of the Cameroon's main ports. Here we arrive at the end of this news edition. Thank you for watching us.